Welcome to our program on immigration and you. I am your immigration attorney Michael Fulwani, and once again we have with us my law partner David Nachman. David, welcome.
Thanks so much, Michael.
First of all, let us wish our viewers a very happy Merry Christmas, happy holidays and a very happy New Year. आपको और आपके परिवार को डेविड नाकमन और मेरे तरफ से इस हैप्पी हॉलीडेज और मेरी क्रिसमस की शुभकामनाएं. And enjoy, have fun.
We hope that everyone had a very nice Christmas holiday, that you're enjoying the holiday season, a little good cheer, and of course we wish you the very best of health, happiness, and prosperity in the coming New Year, which is only 1 week away. Okay. And of course, I think we should also mention that we're coming into an election year.
Yes,
right? That's very important, especially with all the hoopla that we're hearing on TV and in the news.
So let's talk about the TV and the news.
Okay? Let's do that. Yeah.
See, there's a lot of hoopla and all that going on because of the issuance of a K-1. K-1 is a fiancé visa to this wife who was a terrorist herself, and also had a very background that a lot of people are saying they missed, and people are saying how they granted them this visa and they come here and they are like extremely what you call is terrorist minded people.
Right.
So they are complaining. I mean, basically they are saying that there are no steps that to check the guideline, background of the people and how did this happen, and they are saying that this is really not that should be happening. In other words, there some people are challenging. There is no breaks for the people to come in. And I want to say something, and this statement has been made by the Department of State official recently on the TV, that is not true. Listen, when you K-1 visa fiancé petition, you apply for a petition with the Immigration Service. Immigration Service has to approve the petition. When the petition is approved, it goes to the National Visa Center. They do some checking and go forward. Then approved petition reaches to the American Counsel. American Counsel wants the fingerprints and the biometrics to check the entire background, and they spend time to make sure that the person doesn't have anything. And then they issue the visa, and then a personal interview also. They ask some questions and then make a decision to issue the visa. So there is a system. If there was no system, you will have thousands of terrorists coming here. So what is like this one couple that has happened recently? But what about the thousands of people that have been stopped, that have been denied visas, that are put on hold? I'll tell you that in our own practice we have seen our very big clients, without naming or saying anything, put on hold for a week or a month or 2 months until they clear the person. So, no harm in mentioning, but everybody knows about. For example, Shah Rukh Khan came in once for a shooting, and at the airport they keep him about 2 hours because they wanted to clear. It's nothing wrong with it. The officer concerned said, please have a seat so that we can clear, because in the computer shows that there is some red flag.
I thought they said, please have a seat so we can wake your lawyers up in the middle of the night.
I don't want to go into the details because they are all our clients. So I'm saying only the process is that he was doing his job, check all agencies to make sure that and remember there was an interview that we did, the CBP, and we talked to the CBP people, and an interview asked this question. They said, we briefly gave a signal that there was something, they're looking for another Shah Rukh Khan who might be on the list. So they probably were looking, every person entering the US with that same name, they wanted to make sure this is not, because imagine the officer's responsibility. If you would have permitted the right person, what will happen to him? Right. So he was taking his own time just to clear the thing and then let him come in. So that's what I'm saying, is some people are very upset, but we have the breaks, all right? Nevertheless, I think it calls for more breaks, more basically putting into that, and they, as we were talking earlier, they are looking at the visa waiver program also, and they were looking at what else that we could do. So why don't you say something about that, then I come back to the subject again.
Yeah, well, I think that one of the things which I think Michael and I clearly feel strongly about, and probably all of our viewers do too, is that the nation's security is paramount. And, of course, we want to work with the government to ensure that whatever the protocols are, whatever the whatever system they have in place is operating well, because we want to make sure that the people who are coming to the United States are people who are coming here to do good, and they're not coming here to do the types of things like these terrorists in San Bernardino did.
Yeah.
And there is a system, and after the San Bernardino shooting, obviously we as immigration lawyers, I think I can speak for all of us, we intellectualize to a certain degree, and we turn inward and become somewhat academic. And what it did was it caused me to do some research. The Congressional Research Service has about a 25-page memorandum that's called Visa Security Policies. Yeah. So what I did was I pulled that out and I started to read it just to understand what the system is and where the system may have fallen down. And also the GAO had an additional report, which is almost twice that size, about
refugees.
Yeah, about refugees, but also the fraud that a potential refugee case might bear out. And it's kind of interesting because if you take a look at all of these terroristic activities, none of them have been carried out by refugees. None of them. Yeah. Okay, so that's not the people that we have problems with. The people who did 9/11 were on student visas. The people who were involved in this case, we're talking about a person who was on a fiancé visa. So I don't think, there's been a lot of hoopla in the news about the security issues with refugees, but I don't think that's where maybe our system is falling down. Maybe our system is falling down in other visa classifications.
Just want to tell you an interesting thing, David, that probably Trump doesn't know, otherwise he'll go on a TV and talk about that anyway. Is that the 9/11 people that came in, there was one guy's name was Atta, and he had applied for extension of his student visa.
It was granted after he died.
6 months after.
Horrible.
6 months after. The guy died, the biggest terrorist. And
horrible. That was in the news and absolutely horrible.
So basically, this is, again, I'm saying, right after 9/11, they have put in all these breaks and for biometrics, and a lot of these things they have done.
Well, I think they had them in place. I think, Michael, they stepped them up. In other words, that I think one of the big things, remember that right after 9/11, then we have the Homeland Security Act, which is what created the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, and which is what really combined the databases. Yeah. So some of the databases that are out there, just to let our viewers know, you might be of some interest, is something called CLASS, which is the Consular Lookout and Support System. There's another database called the SAO. And then that's the Security Advisory Opinion, and then there's also the Interagency Checks. And this is all data that's poured in from criminal databases, from Interpol, from our intelligence agencies. And what we do is we vet the names through these databases with the hopes that we're going to find a potential problem. But unfortunately, sometimes they don't get picked up.
But the problem is that if it's not in the database, they go
exactly.
to the database,
right.
Then what happens?
Well, I always say that it's not what I know that scares me, it's what I don't know that scares me. That's the problem.
So let me say in support of the consular officers or all that is that like we talked about the interviews to be done in India or some other post where a large number of people apply and they have only 3 minutes or 4 minutes of time. So if we are saying that the consuls should go into more details and spend a lot of time to try to get that information, how are you going to do it? You have to have billions of dollars in money to put in more officers, more efficiency, more corrective databases and detailed interviews and detailed checks. Can be done. All that can be done, but the Congress has to allocate funds for that and support the government.
And I don't want you to take, I don't want our viewers and I don't want you to take my comments as being critical. I think what this is it's an awakening. And I think what it is that it's an awakening for all of our clients and all of the people who go to the consulates to understand that the consular officials are just trying to do their job. We understand that, and we always say that when we go to the consulates. We know you're trying to do your job, but we're here to help you try to do your job in an efficient manner. Tell us what documentation we can provide to you. What can we send to you to help you better do your job, to better vet these people through your database, and to assure you that these are not problem cases? Okay, so that's where we are facilitators. So I don't think, I don't want to come across as being critical as much as I want to come across as being a vehicle to help the consular officials be able to get the information they need to properly vet cases through their databases.
Same discussion, same issue came in on a no-fly list. Right?
Exactly.
They say that there are hundreds of thousands of people who are on the no-fly list, and majority of them really have nothing to do with terrorism or anything. So they were, I think there's something they were not able to get it done or because of the no-fly list. But anyway, there was a lot of inconvenience. People come every time, they have to go to a secondary inspection, they have to hassle, they are still always concerned and afraid of traveling. Now, the argument on the other side was that the government occupies. Yes, we understand that, but it's better to be secure than sorry. In other words, he said we should at least, these people are suspicious. We are not saying they are terrorists. They are under some kind of suspicion. So we need to clear them up. Time takes it, and the process of removal of from a fly list is also not very effective.
It's very, right, exactly.
Not,
That's a problem.
so there's another discussion on that. I mean, the other side of the story is that how do they come on a no-fly list?
Well, let me share with you, Michael, and I think you know this, is that we have an individual, one of our clients, who's the CEO of one of the largest corporations in the country, who was on the no-fly list.
Yeah.
And we provided all the documentation, and still we cannot get him off the no-fly list. It's very frustrating. And this is clearly an individual whose products are a household name. So, you know, so there are issues with the system. And
Issues with the system, you know that Senator Kennedy, listen, Senator Kennedy, right, he used to live in Baltimore and go to Washington DC every day in the flight. I think Jet Airways or JetBlue.
Oh, yeah,
I remember.
this, yeah.
So Senator Kennedy goes to the airport,
Right. He's on the no.
and the person that gives the boarding pass, he says, "Sir, sorry, I cannot give you the boarding pass because you are on the no-fly list." No-fly list? He's looking, he's like all upset. "You know me?" He says, "Yes, sir, you are Senator Kennedy. But I cannot print it because you are on no-fly list." Right? So you are so upset, and then he called the, I think the person responsible, director of the, Michael somebody? Yeah.
Michael Chertoff.
Chertoff. He called him, and he called him, and then he immediately called. He said, "Sorry, sir, I don't know how it has happened." No, the thing is that if a person, the most powerful politician in the country, Senator Kennedy, he missed that flight, then he took the following flight to come.
Yeah.
So there are, I mean, basically, we have to agree to one thing for sure, that there has to be some definitely steps taken to increase the security, because the terrorism is coming home.
Well, again, I think this is an awakening. I think that the new year is obviously going to bear out a lot of new protocols.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the waiver, visa waiver. They are also looking into very closely.
Exactly.
What tell what is 1 minute?
Well, the visa waiver, it's not as applicable, of course, to our clients from countries like India and Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh.
But we have clients, British, we have people,
right, but there are individuals who are from
Sure.
mostly Western European nations. The Attorney General has the ability to designate individuals who are from.
So they don't need a basket. They don't need a visa for
Exactly. There's no visa that's necessary. They go online and they apply.
But now what they are saying now, that these terrorist people somehow get into UK, and from there they have some manipulated passport or something,
That's the problem.
and then they are able to enter the US based upon the visa waiver. So they are going to again look at the visa waiver complete program, tighten it up and make some change. Some people even say, forget this, just delete this whole visa waiver program. That I don't think is going to happen, because they need the people, the tourists to come, and a lot of inconvenience. And then they increase a lot of officers, everybody has to apply.
Well, you'll remember, Michael, that doing away with the visa waiver program was on the front burner several years back. There was a discussion, I think that, if I'm not mistaken,
but I don't think it's going to happen. They are going to tighten up, though.
that would be the hope. Is that there's a tight.
All right, we are running out of the time again, and once again, a very happy New Year to all of you, and thank you very much. And David, Well, thank you for coming on the program.
Thanks so much, Michael.
And goodbye. Please keep watching us every Saturday and Sunday at 11:45 a.m. Thank you very much.